Welcome to the weekly channeled angel message. I'm going to channel a message from the angels to all of you to see what they want to share with us this week. Here we go. They're showing me a pizza and kind of taking a slice, the enjoyment of it. And they're pointing to me. Basically, like, what does pizza mean to me? Well, I love pizza. And pizza is something that I used to really love when I was younger, and then it's interesting. Okay. They're trying to use this as a way to give a message to people. So I used to love pizza, and then in high school, because of things that were going on in my life, a lot of stress and trauma, I developed a dietary restriction and I couldn't have dairy anymore. I would have a severe reaction. And then I've had that all the way up to this point in my life. And that ebbs and flows depending on how much stress or anxiety I'm under. So, and they're showing kind of like the mix of emotions that I have about that. So they're using this of like, sometimes there's been things in our life that brought us so much joy and meant a lot to us, and then because of stuff that happens to us, it gets taken away. And we might grieve that. We might have feelings about that, and that's okay. Let's see what else they want to say about this. Kind of what's the point of this message here? But they're kind of showing that like I've ended up trying a lot of other different types of foods, or different versions, I guess you could say, of foods. Like, because I can't have dairy, I'll try like dairy substitutes and things that I never would have tried probably if I kind of wasn't almost forced to. And other people sometimes will look at some of the food that I eat and be like, oh, I could never do that, or like, that doesn't seem like that would taste as good. But you adjust. So when life has taken something from you, and this could be so many things, and so like your life isn't the same because of that. And this could be small, this could be big. Like, they're just using this example from my life to kind of get the message to me so I know how to share it with you, but then also have a concrete example. But it could be in small ways, could be in big ways. And sometimes we think that like we'll suffer in some ways, right? Like some days I get really frustrated that I can't have dairy because cheese was like my favorite food group. But I've learned to adjust. And a lot of people will say to me like, well, I could never do that. I love cheese so much, I could never live without cheese. And it's like, well, there was one time in my life that I thought that too. But when you're affected by something, when eating cheese makes you feel as bad as it has for me over a long period of time, and you realize the harm that it's done, like that like the harm that you experience when having it doesn't really feel as appetizing, and you learn to adjust without it. Are there days that I miss it? Sure. But I've learned to adjust to a life without dairy. I have it sometimes, and that's okay. And so that's what the angels kind of want to share with all of you, this idea of like, just because your life has changed because of something that's happened to you and you feel like it'll never be the same, doesn't mean that you can't adjust. You can always adjust to a new way of being. So whether you've been in some type of accident and that has changed maybe the way that your body is able to function and operate, and maybe mobility issues, doesn't mean that you won't adjust. And it's also understandable, the angels are saying, that you might have feelings about that. You might have a lot of feelings in the beginning, and then you might have feelings that pop up every now and again. Like, acceptance isn't a one-stop destination, is what the angels are reminding us. Acceptance happens over and over and over again. Like, we might get to a general place of acceptance of something and how our life has changed because of something that's happened to us, but we could still have grief that pops up. We might still have anger that pops up, and just different things. But we might get, even though we mostly live from a place of acceptance. And just because other people look at our lives and maybe pity us or think, oh, that seems awful, I could never live like that, like, fill in the blank of whatever's changed in our life, we don't have to take that to mean that there's something wrong with our lives or something wrong with us, or that like we should feel bad about it. Like, when we are forced to do something different in our lives and live a different way, and be different because of something that's happened to us, we learn to accommodate and adjust and look for the joy and beauty and enjoyment in other ways. I've learned to enjoy food, dairy substitutes, when other people are like, this tastes awful. It's like I've adjusted, and I might look forward to something that someone else is like, this is gross. And I'm not saying that like I don't miss cheese, but I've learned to find enjoyment in things that I wouldn't have otherwise if I hadn't been kind of forced to. So the angels just kind of want to, one, they're saying give you hope that when something happens in your life and things change, that you can adjust. We're very adaptable creatures if we allow ourselves to be. If we like resist the change, that's where the suffering like is added to our experience. But when we can open ourselves up to the change, sometimes there's things that we realize and we get to experience that we never would have. And we can find the beauty and the joy in that, even if we're having other feelings about that. And it's okay. The angels are reminding us it's okay to have the other feelings that pop up from time to time. So a very interesting message of how the angels brought that about. I didn't know where we were going. Sometimes the angels will have me share something personal because either one, they feel like people need to hear it, but two, sometimes it's a way that they're trying to use my own experience as a message, like a bigger message. So that's what they wanted to do here. So hope that was helpful.